How's it going, everyone? And this video is about how not to waste your time, how to make the most out of your practice. So for some reason it seems like a lot of riders, or a lot of my audience anyway, a lot of you guys, always emailing me and saying, hey, you know, I want to practice, I want to set up your drills, but I don't have any big empty parking lots like you do, I can't find a place to practice, and so on. So I think that has two underlying assumptions that aren't really true, and and those two things are what I'm gonna address in this video. First, if you go and practice some low speed stuff, if you're there more than 15 minutes wherever you are, then it's kind of counterproductive. I would say 15 minutes max a session. So if you ride 3 times a week, and in the beginning of your ride or at the end of the ride you go practice, well then good. You don't have to spend hours doing something, unless you're like planned, like you found like a big area and it's all nice and clean, and you plan for a bunch of your buddies to get there, and your guys are all going to set up all my drills and stay there for a while and really practice, then great, it would be a while. But most of the time you're probably just going to be by yourself, right? And you're just kind of playing around and practicing. 15 minutes, you don't need much more than that. So that's the first thing. And why is 15 minutes? So anything longer than that, it's just going to be hard on your bike, hard on you. You're going to get hot, you won't be as focused, and it's better to try something one time at 100% than 2 times at 50%. So those 15 minutes is not sitting around and, you know, messing around or taking pictures and just playing around. It's like actual 15 minutes of 100% focused practice. Like you're actually trying, like 100%, like really try to do this stuff, right? Now, because it's only 15 minutes, you have to make it efficient. What's the biggest bang for your buck, right? So that's going to be emergency braking and figure eights. Those two things are like the main top 2 things that you could do, is stopping at various speeds as fast as you can, and just doing as tight as you can figure eights. That's pretty much it. After 15 minutes, if you're there, I mean, it's really hot on the bikes can get hot, so you need to allow time for the bike to cool off. You need to cool off. It's like, you know, 100 degrees everywhere around the planet right now, it seems. So you need time to cool off. But 15 minutes in and out practice, you'll be done practicing, and then up and out of there, back with the wind in your hair, right? So that's all you really need. I get emails saying, oh, I was at the parking lot with your drills for 4 hours today, or 2 hours. I'm like, dude, if you're there by yourself for that long, I don't know, unless you're taking multiple breaks to allow the bike to cool down so it's not getting so hot, and you have shade and everything and water, and then great. But I just haven't found that to be reality with most people, so that's why I'm saying 15 minutes. Okay, so there's the first myth. Enough of that. The next one is, I don't have any big empty parking lots. Okay, so look where I'm at right now. I'm just in some random neighborhood here in Pacific Beach area. I don't think I've ever been around here before, because I really don't know where I'm going. There's no stores around here, there's no mall, there's no big empty parking lot. I don't know where any of these roads go. I'm just kind of exploring, and this is my point, right? So here's a road. It's 8:20 in the morning. So I'm going, so right here, there's no one behind me, right? So I just pick a spot. Once I get to that little white thing, once I get to the pothole. So once I get to this car right here, this Toyota on the right, I'm just gonna practice stopping at 25 miles per hour as fast as I can. Back in first gear, squeezing the brakes, not lighting up on the rear ABS did not kick on, perfect. And this is perfect because it ended up being a cul-de-sac. So here we go. So there's some emergency braking, and then just do some circles, come over here, do some figure eights. Now, am I gonna sit out here for an hour in front of these people's houses going in circles on a motorcycle? They're gonna be like, dude, who the hell are you? What are you doing? I'm like, no, right? But I could do a couple figure eights, I could practice. So first gear, steady speed, get some really good weaving going on. Like I'm almost scraping my foot pegs. Like it's a good amount of lean I'm doing. This is like practicing your swerving, practicing your weaving. Get your speed up, no one behind me. Once I get to the shadow, here we go. You see that? Immediately I pull in the clutch and get that first gear out of the way, and then just squeeze those damn brakes. But emergency braking. Here you go. I'll just go 15 miles per hour. Slow it down a little bit and stop. Ah. there we go. That time I squeezed really hard. I wanted to feel what the front ABS felt like. Got that to engage. You don't need big empty parking lots to get good at this stuff. And look at, here's a hill, right? It's not the steepest thing in the world, but it's still a hill. Want to practice a little bit on the hill? We'll go for it. There's no one behind me. Yeah, just making sure there's no one around. Do some big figure eights, use the whole lane. Kind of play around a little bit. This is what I like to do. Like, here's a stop, right? So when that little skid mark begins, I'm gonna stop. 30 miles per hour. And then you just evaluate, like, oh, I was a little bit too hard on the rear brake because the rear ABS engaged. So next time, a little bit less rear brake, a little bit more on the front. My arms are tensing up, so I'm gonna squeeze my knees a little bit harder so I'm not getting all my weight to go onto my hands. And they just play around. You just ride around a neighborhood just like I'm doing. You don't need, because I think, honestly, the amount of times I've heard people say I don't have big empty parking lots, I actually think it's just a damn excuse. You're trying to find an excuse to not go out and practice because you either know that you're not good at it and you're afraid to try something new, you're afraid to not be good at something, you're afraid to be like a white belt in something because this stuff is challenging and difficult. I understand the fear of dropping your bike. Well, that's what crash protection is for, right? Get some frame sliders, get some crash bars on your bike, and then go for it. If you're unwilling to accept the bike is going to drop, and it may drop on the ground doing a tight figure eight, then just know you're always going to be a very limited rider when it comes to this stuff because it's just part of the plan. No one gets to be successful, not even me, at doing stuff. It's just a perfect straight line of success non-stop. That's not how anything works. It's like, think about how silly this would be. You're learning to play the piano and you're deathly afraid of hitting the wrong note. Like, you're never going to be able to play one song because you're going to make a tremendous amount of mistakes, and that's part of the process. So you have to learn to accept and expect mistakes to happen, and that may include, you might drop your bike at 5 miles per hour doing a U-turn, right? So just understand I think it's a mentality thing. You're not willing to accept the bike may drop. You're fear of the unknown. You're scared that you may not actually be good at it. Who knows why? And then saying I don't have any big empty parking lots like you do. Well, it's actually rare that I go to big empty parking lots to do much of anything. What I do right now, unless I'm like making a video, but there's not too many people that are out there making videos like I am. So I think it's just an excuse. Look at another cul-de-sac dead end road. It's 8:26 in the morning. You can wake up at 5 in the morning and damn near every single road is going to be blank. So no more excuses. Here we go. I'm just going to do some figure eights. Right now I'm just doing no rear brake. Just using the clutch and lean angle to control my speed. Because the more you lean, the slower you go. If you didn't know that. Ah! Almost put my foot down right there. That would have been a first in like years. I held the clutch in a little bit too long. I didn't have power to the bike. Alright, now I'm gonna add a little bit of rear brake. Get the bike to slow down. You can make tighter circles now. A little bit more controlled. There you go. And once I get to the black Toyota right there, I'm gonna stop as fast as I can in the corner. Here we go. I'll go around the corner first. Ah! Like, stand the bike up and practice. So you can practice anything. You can do all kinds of stuff. Just make up scenarios. Like, oh, there's a 2x4 in the middle of the road. Swerve. Like, I do that a bunch. Look at, check it out. So see this little thing right here that says bicyclist? I'm gonna pretend it's a 2x4. Swerve. Another thing, swerve the other way. Swerve, get out of the way, get out of the way. Up, car pulls out in front of me. No problem, there's no one behind me. There's no traffic early in the morning. So you could damn near do everything. But if you're only narrow-minded thinking you have to set up my drills, otherwise you don't know what to do, emergency braking and figure eights. Just figure out places to do that. And the thing about figure eights, or about emergency braking, like, this is really good cement that I'm on. Asphalt, cement, concrete, I don't know, whatever the hell the difference is. Someone email me a simple Barney style definition of asphalt, cement, concrete. I don't know, because I always pick one of the three and I don't know which one I mean, and I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, when you practice emergency braking on various surfaces, you get used to the level of grip that you have with that particular type of surface. So that way it's just another note in your brain. Whenever you're riding around on this type of surface, like, oh, this has really good grip, or this has really crappy grip. So you just have to know to plan for the amount of distance it's going to take you to stop when you're on a surface with just less traction. It's just it's just more knowledge points for your brain, right? This guy is doing a U-turn. He's gonna park right there, so I'm just gonna go back the other way. I don't want to deal with all that traffic. Yeah, so finally after, I don't know, I don't remember, 6-7 months, it's supposed to rain. I think today, what day is today? Today is Thursday, and I think all this is coming in for tomorrow and Saturday. It's finally going to rain, so people are going to lose their minds. There'll probably be 30 accidents over the next 2 days. Anyway, maybe I'll go out and ride in the rain. So I'm in the middle of a curve, car pulls out in front of me. So that time I was so hard on the front brake, and the grip is really good, that the rear ABS was engaging even though I was only touching the front, because these brakes are integrated. They're not linked. If I stomp on the rear brake, it's only applying the rear brake. When I apply the front brake, a little bit of power also goes to the rear. That's very different than linked. Linked brakes, as I stomp on the rear, it also stomps on the front, like it does both at the same. Perfect, here you go. You don't have a parking lot, but you do have a cul-de-sac, right? So I'm not gonna stay here forever and have these guys get pissed off that some random motorcycle dude is doing figure eights in the middle of their cul-de-sac. I could. And if they don't like it, you know, they call the cops. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm practicing. Well, you can't do that here. Well, really? Show me a law that says I can't. And you're just annoying people. I got it. You don't be that guy. But if I stay here for 5 minutes, people won't even notice me in 5 minutes. I mean, oh my God. So it's all good. If I lived here, I would have the MotoJitsu drills like all chalked up, all on this cul-de-sac. And if anybody else has like little kids, I'll get them on their bicycles to practice this stuff, and it'd be a whole practice session. But look at, just figure eights. Figure eights, figure eights, figure eights. Tight turns. Go back to the light, go back to the light. Go around the oil stains. Like, ooh, go around this oil stain. Ooh, a pothole. How tight can I get close to this pothole? How tight can I get? How tight can I get? Ooh, a curb. Go up the curb. Go down the curb. Okay, here we go. At this truck, I'm gonna stop as fast as I can. Here we go, and stop. And go. Practice stopping and going like that without putting your foot down. So no more excuses. Oh, look at this blind corner. I can't see anything around this thing, so I'm gonna have to take off quickly. Go. So 15 minutes or so, if you're actually in a dedicated spot, or if you're doing like what I'm doing. I don't know how long this video is right now, but you just ride around a neighborhood you've never been before, go explore on your motorcycle, which is part of the fun of just being on a motorcycle. You just go ride around wherever you want. Hey, look, another bike. What's up, guy? That was a Ducati. It's like a V4S or something, one of those cool ones. But just go explore, play around, do some figure eights, do some emergency braking. And if you have an actual dedicated spot where you could find to actually set up my drills, then go for it. But it's really not necessary. Look at that. So look straight ahead of me. That's a damn driveway that goes to the dude's like 3-car garage. But look how steep the driveway is. And look how big and wide it is. If I lived there, look how perfect it is to practice figure eights on that huge driveway. Oh, I would just do figure eights right there. I would make so many videos on my own driveway if I lived there. That's pretty damn cool. Looks like a nice house too. Here we go, stop sign, no one behind me, brake. Practice stopping and then not putting your foot down like this. Stop, don't put your foot down and go. That's what I mean by you could ride all the time in practice. Look, 2x4. Oh shit. Oh. Dinosaur, squirrel. Oh, get out of the way, get out. All right. And then you get to practice like with your throttle control while you're doing that stuff. I'm not gonna stay on the gas while I'm swerving, right? But I could like go like this, roll off a little bit, swerve, go up, brake, slow down, back on the gas, brake, swerve, ease off the brake, brake again, swerve again, accelerate, slow, brake, oh shit, downshift, second gear, brake, swerve. Like I'm just going around a bunch of crap that's just falling out of the back of a guy's truck, like I'm in a video game or something, right? Third gear, fourth gear, no one behind me, brake. All the way down to first, okay, go again. Stop, oh, squirrel. Deadly pothole, brake, swerve. So if you're practicing braking and swerving, never do both at the same time. But right now, brake, and then swerve. If you can slow down as much as you can before you swerve, fantastic. But the first time you ever have to swerve around something or brake really hard, it should not be when there's actually a car in front of you. That just seems really, really stupid to me. Like you might want to know and learn how to do it and practice what that's going to feel like before you actually put yourself in that situation. All right, there we go. I'm out. Talk to you guys later. Email me if you have any questions.